Welcome back to All Things Whitetail. I'm here today with Jim Ward with Jim Ward's Whitetail Academy, and we've blogged about this before, this little experiment that we're doing. We're going to illustrate where we're at in the process right now. This started a couple of months ago. We sprayed it with Roundup, then we broadcast some buckwheat, we mowed it, and then we spread some beans. So we're going to talk a little bit about where the growth is, and Jim's going to comment on a few things.
Okay, the reason that we put the buckwheat in first, because at that time of the year we didn't want to put our beans down. And buckwheat pulls deer fast, but it matures out fast also. So we waited until the buckwheat started seeding out, and this is the first part of August, which is a very, very tough time of the year to get food plots to grow. Even farmers have trouble this time of the year. But by watching the weather, we broadcast our beans before a storm and then mow over top of it. So we have a mulch laying over top of it. And I'll get down here to the ground and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so the reason we put these soybeans in late in the year is so that we can have them at their prime the first week of bow season. So in this plot now, we're going to have buckwheat coming back, and we're going to have Roundup Ready soybeans. The way I'm going to have buckwheat coming back is the seeds are maturing right now. So what I can do is let them mature and then round up the plot. It kills all the big buckwheat, but then the seed starts coming back. And we have Roundup Ready soybeans in here. And this mulch or matting that we mowed right before or right after we put the soybeans in is actually protecting more soybeans. So here's the soybean up underneath there, and it's holding moisture around that plant. So the benefits of this is we have knocked all the broadleaf down in this plot, and so deer are going to come in and start hitting the broadleaf. They'll hit ragweed, not much on the mare's tail, but there was horseweed in here, goldenrod, a few different broadleafs that deer really like, and we've got it re-sprouting and more digestible and less woody. And we've put the plot in without turning the soil over and drying the soil out. We haven't put any fertilizer in here, but our buckwheat and our Roundup Ready soybeans are both going to put nitrogen in the ground if we decide to use something different in the future. But this plot is at the entrance of the property. And again, the benefit of putting it out here is we can hunt this corner of the property early in the year. We get a couple of frost on it, the buckwheat and the soybeans both will be dead. And so when they die out, we're not pulling deer to this spot anymore, so we can go hunt deeper in the property without the deer understanding that we're after them. So we've pulled them to the edge so we haven't disturbed our very best spots on the property. And we have a trap for a week or 2 weeks at the beginning of October before the frost here in southern Indiana. And then as soon as the frost comes, it kills this off. This plot's worthless to the deer, and they've concentrated on another plot that we can ambush them there in a fresh stand, a fresh strategy. So this plot didn't cost maybe $45. We didn't have to use any big equipment on it. We threw the soybeans and the buckwheat at different times on the ground. The reason we put the buckwheat in first is so we could get a little bit of weed control, but then also we didn't want to put our soybeans in so early in the year because, again, we want them at their prime. We don't want pods here, we just want green soybean leaves.